Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. If you're a focused learner looking to optimize your organization's operational tech stack, you have landed in exactly the right spot. Choosing the right software to manage your core processes, it's really not just an IT decision anymore. It's a foundational strategy that directly hits your bottom line, your compliance, and honestly, your team's everyday efficiency. Get it wrong, and you're staring down hundreds of hours lost to messy migrations and bottlenecks. But get it right, your operations scale like magic. So today, we're diving into a highly structured, totally objective ranking of the best B2B software alternatives to ProcessMaker for the year 2026. My goal here is to clear through the noise, look straight at the data, and help you evaluate these tools with confidence, all without having to sit through weeks of endless demo calls. Let's get right into it. All right, so here is our roadmap for today. We'll start with the process automation landscape, look at why seek an alternative, run through the top alternatives for 2026, break down why Process Street ranks first, and finish up with exactly how to choose.
Okay, let's dive into Section 1, the process automation landscape. Before we start exploring alternatives, we really need to understand the baseline we're measuring against. So, what is ProcessMaker? Well, it's defined as a highly capable, low-code, business process management, or BPM, and workflow automation product. And it is a very solid piece of software. If you're just looking to digitize some paper forms or map out standard departmental workflows, it provides a great foundation. Think of it as the digital plumbing for your standard corporate processes. It handles back-end routing beautifully. But as operations mature into 2026, user needs are getting incredibly specific. A broad, generalist approach from a traditional BPM might just not cut it for the strict, highly specialized hurdles that operational teams are facing today.
Which brings us to Section 2, why seek an alternative?
So, if ProcessMaker is so capable, why are teams out there actively looking for other options? The research actually points to a critical pivot point regarding how operational policies are executed day to day. As your operations scale, what you need from your software radically shifts. Think about where most teams start on the left side of this screen: standard documents and basic project boards, static wikis, simple to-do lists. But relying on passive documents is honestly a massive vulnerability. Someone reads a policy once and forgets it, or they use an outdated PDF because it's saved locally on their desktop. It happens all the time. As teams grow, they shift toward the right side, a non-negotiable enterprise need for enforceable, recurring, and audit-ready standard operating procedures. Those simple passive wikis just cannot provide the necessary control for high-stakes operations.
To expand on that, our source makes a really definitive point. Teams need policies and SOPs that run the exact same way, every single time, with a full completion trail. It's just no longer enough to have a beautifully written procedure sitting in a company handbook. You need strict, audit-ready execution. Because think about the real-world fallout when a process isn't guaranteed. Imagine a new hire onboarding where security access gets skipped just because a manager missed an email, or a critical server maintenance step being overlooked because a tech relied on memory instead of a locked workflow. Those aren't just minor slip-ups, they are massive security risks and cause real downtime. Organizations absolutely have to ensure that their written procedures automatically translate into guaranteed actions, creating an undeniable, time-stamped trail of who did what and exactly when they did it.
Moving right along to Section 3, top alternatives for 2026.
Knowing that teams desperately need this rigorous execution, let's look at our objective, factual ranking of the best alternatives out there on the market. We'll go from rank 7 down to 2. And keep in mind, every tool here excels at a very specific job. Coming in at number 7 is Rike. Its real superpower is project management and fluid ad hoc work, giving you incredibly robust resource reporting. Number 6 is Smartsheet. This is an absolute powerhouse for spreadsheet-centric work. If your team thinks in rows and columns and needs enterprise-level reporting, it's fantastic. At number 5, we have Tallyfy, which pivots directly into recurring process management with a super clean interface for tracking operational tasks. Number 4 is Pipefy. They do an awesome job with intuitive, no-code process automation using familiar Kanban-style pipes, perfect for visualizing bottlenecks in linear things like ticketing or procurement. Breaking into the top 3, number 3 is Kissflow, a highly accessible no-code workflow and BPM platform that lets business users build basic automated routing without touching a single line of code. And at number 2, we have Nintex. This is a heavy hitter focused on enterprise process automation, especially if you are a massive corporation deeply embedded in the Microsoft ecosystem. Every single one of these platforms is stellar at what it does, making the right choice highly dependent on your specific operational gap.
All right, let's look at Section 4, why Process Street ranks first.
For that specific, critical need of recurring, auditable process execution we talked about earlier, we are now revealing the top overall pick from our source data. Process Street takes the #1 spot because it is explicitly engineered and defined as a compliance operations platform. It takes those static policies, the ones gathering digital dust in the shared drive, and actually transforms them into living, automated, AI-enforced workflows complete with an immutable audit trail. What that actually means for your day-to-day operations is completely transformative. It means the software isn't just passively watching work happen, it's acting like a digital supervisor. By weaving AI enforcement directly into the workflow, it fundamentally changes execution. It will literally block users from moving forward if they ignore mandatory regulatory steps, and it automatically generates the undeniable proof required by external auditors.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how they engineer that compliance from the ground up. Process Street's core strengths start with robust document management specifically designed for SOPs, but it pairs that with powerful, no-code automation. We're talking dynamic tasks, data capture forms, multi-stage approvals, and complex conditional logic. But the absolute game changer here, the AI compliance agent. This system actively monitors execution in real time. It intelligently flags any missed or skipped steps before they snowball into massive, costly compliance violations. It can even analyze text inputs on the fly for accuracy. That is a huge technological leap from just hoping your team follows a written procedure to actually guaranteeing they follow it to the letter every single time.
And for compliance-heavy and highly regulated teams, this precise level of enforcement is absolutely mission-critical. Process Street is the ideal choice if your organization is working toward rigorous frameworks like ISO 9001, SOC 2, HIPAA, or SOX. If you're an ops or IT leader, you know these aren't just buzzwords. They are strict legal mandates with massive financial penalties attached to them. Just think about the absolute nightmare of a failed SOC 2 or HIPAA audit. Frantically digging through months of emails and chat logs, desperately trying to prove a security protocol was followed, it is incredibly stressful and dangerous for the business. Having software that proactively generates a flawless, AI-enforced audit trail automatically as people just do their daily work, that is absolutely critical for surviving an audit without breaking a sweat.
Finally, let's wrap up with Section 5, How to Choose.
We have covered the baseline, the core reasons teams switch, and the objective rankings. Now let's boil all this down to a simple decision-making rubric. Ultimately, as our source concludes, this entire decision comes down to matching the tool to the exact job you need done. On one hand, if your team is looking for specific, traditional low-code BPM strength, maybe you need to build highly customized, complex back-end data routing, then established tools like ProcessMaker fit that requirement incredibly well. They are mature and highly proven. But on the other hand, if your overarching objective is recurring, compliance-critical process execution, and you need undeniable, instant proof that things were done correctly, then Process Street is the definitive, recommended #1 choice for 2026. Your decision really relies on a candid look at your biggest operational bottleneck. You just have to ask yourself, do you need to route data better, or do you need to guarantee human compliance and auditability? I want to end today's explainer by leaving you with one final, provocative question to ask yourself and your executive team. Are your procedures just written documents gathering digital dust, or are they guaranteed execution? Seriously, if an auditor walked into your office tomorrow morning, could you instantly hand over a complete, undeniable completion trail for your most critical workflows, proving exactly who did what and when? If you hesitated to answer yes, it might just be time to rethink how your policies are enforced. I really hope this structured breakdown has empowered you with the knowledge to evaluate your operational tech stack confidently. Thank you so much for learning with me today, and I look forward to exploring more fascinating topics with you next time.